It's not going live. Come on.
Oh, there
we
live.
go.
There we go.
Woo! Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the Gulag Party. Hello, Jennifer. There's Noah. Woo! Hey, guys. So I hope we appear appropriately grim. Apparently, my thumbnail was a bit too smiley for a Gulag party, so we dressed up as goth today.
Ish.
We're in all black.
Yes.
We didn't dye our hair or anything.
No.
So
Next
Kari
time.
will. Yes, next time. Am I echoing or does that sound okay?
I hear a little echo.
Ah, that's so weird. I'm using my headphones. I never get. Tell me if you still hear it now.
We all should have gone as public.
That sounds less bad, I think.
Less bad? Okay. Cool.
Or less echoey, at least.
I think it's more just the reverb than the reverb in your room. Alan.
Hey, Kari.
Hey,
Kari's
Christy, I can hear you a little bit better now.
Yay!
Yay!
The perks of living in the country.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
Gotta get that
welcome,
Elon
everybody.
Musk internet.
You all should have gone as public school teachers.
All right. I mean, I think I can master the dead inside look. I've done
I
it
actually
before.
am a public
There
school
we go.
teacher.
Oh my gosh. Alan is also a public school teacher, so you're in good company, Kari.
Nice.
And Jennifer.
It's
I really-
Billy.
It's the closest aesthetic. Darth Christy, yes, that is me. This is high school me. I had more makeup on though in high school. Like it was like black. Well, welcome to our Gulag party. We're doing some reading sprints of the Gulag Archipelago. I'm reading on my Kindle. Greg got some new copies in the mail.
Yep.
Woo!
It's a lot of thickness. Look at
Nice.
this.
Kari, you have a fan out there.
I like those copies of the Gulag.
Yeah, the red, black, and white.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me too.
they're very floppy.
I have a feeling that Alan's comment has reference to the board game video that I have.
Oh, yes. Yes. Gets you out of the gulag. The most victory points. You have to have the most victory points to get out of the gulag.
The least amount of crimes committed.
Because you guys did a collab today, right? Like a board game collab. Cool.
Yep.
Part
And that's on Alan's channel?
It
of
is, yeah.
7.
Part 3 of 3 million, potentially.
Nice. We're glad you're here, Billy.
Yes.
Yes, we are. We are dressed warmly.
No, there's no dice rolls. There's just torture.
Yeah, it is a Euro game, so.
Yeah, it's basically the rules are based on how much information you can get out of your people, and you have to like hit the right buttons in their psyche and pull out as many fingernails as possible to get them to confess.
Yep. Yeah,
the
it's
torture.
like Operation.
Oh, gosh. Have you got to the torture part, Greg?
No, I'm nowhere near anything, really.
There's an entire chapter just dedicated to, and he like numbers the amount of. I think he numbers like, hey, torture. Yeah. There's like 30 some different methods that he outlines of. Hi, this is. Yeah, 31. There are 31 different methods of torture that he documents.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm like not far in at all. How far in are you guys?
Like chapter 5 or 6? Hi, Anita.
I'm in chapter. I think I'm in. Yeah, I'm in 5 as well. I'm close to halfway for volume.
I've got to catch up.
I'm behind where I wanted to be though, because like I wanted to get like 20 pages a day. I haven't been doing that.
Yeah, I wanted to read some this morning, but I got distracted by Red Rising. So,
That's appropriate.
yep.
Like are you reading the book?
Yeah, I'm like halfway through.
Woo! Oh, I can't wait to hear what you think.
Yes.
It's pretty
I can't remember
political.
if that was one.
Yes. Oh, yes. Definitely up my alley. Definitely. Definitely a class system going on.
Yeah, I'll say. A long rag down the throat until it's done. Awesome. They didn't describe that in this book, Alan, but I wouldn't put it past them. I don't know how you
It's
couldn't
possible.
choke and suffocate before then, but okay. Anyways. Yeah. We should, like, while we're sprinting, we should pull out some of the tortures and be like, yeah. Does anyone stick in your mind, Pete?
I mean, honestly, the fingernail one, where one prison, like,
Yeah.
Like, found a way to just like crush the fingernails with like a vice, and like just gradually crush the bone in the fingernail until the fingernail just popped off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of one that sticks in my mind.
Yeah, that's for sure. Oh man, the one where I'm not even gonna talk about it anymore. It's grossing me out. Hi, Rainy. Welcome. Okay, so I think Kari's internet is not going to work for her today, which is such a bummer. But hopefully she can join us in the chat. I'll box her in a minute. So, do we want to start reading at 10 or should we chat a little longer?
I think that's the same option.
Yeah, whatever. Either way.
Whatever. Okay. Let's go for a few more minutes. Pete, stop being gross.
She asked me about torture, all right? I mean,
it's my fault. I'm sorry.
I love the narrative voice in this book, though. It's really just dang. Like, I didn't expect this to be like, to feel like a bit of it's still like a story that's all over the place. Like, if this were a fictional book, it'd be like, dude, get like what?
Oh,
Yeah,
I know.
it's a lot of things. I was when I read No Logo, on the back of this book, it says it's like equal parts cultural analysis, political manifesto, mall rat memoir, and journalistic expose. And that's kind of like how I feel reading this book.
Yeah.
Because it's like a lot of everything, and it goes back and forth very quickly. I haven't really got to like the journalistic expose part, if there is like documenting of whatever, but I'm sure there is at some point.
Kari, thanks for joining us in the chat. I'm so sorry your internet's not working. We're going to miss your conversation up here, but yes.
And like I think there was a part where he's like, yeah, if you're expecting like a political manifesto, like just stop reading. It's not what you're gonna get. That was kind of funny.
I haven't got to that yet.
I don't know where it was. I think it was like either was it introduction.
So as far as Dragonfly, I've only read the first chapter because I really want to see it. I want to read the beginning, which is how I did the first book. I read the beginning with my eyes and then I listened to a whole bunch of it. But I don't have it yet. So I don't know. I'll just have to start listening soon. Because honestly, listening to this, like, I've been listening to Gulag a lot in the last couple days, but I kind of want to read it with my eyes because a lot of he just has a lot of observations about life and philosophy and kind of the psychology behind the Gulag, the people who ran it, the people who experienced it on the receiving end, and a lot of that stuff. I want to be able to follow the trains of thoughts. Like Greg was able to do it just via audio, but I do better actually reading. I can't believe you've only listened to it, Greg, because your comments were like really well thought out already.
Yeah, it's a lot because I've like thought about some of these things already. So I'm kind of like just saying words almost. or it's not like all just based on the book, but like this is just thought provoking, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, and I'm like thinking about other things, and like referencing everything together, kind of, and just talking.
You have thought about these issues before.
Yes, definitely.
Where are you in Dragonfly, Christy? I'm curious
right.
too.
Like I said, I've only finished chapter 1. Like, I do not have a physical copy. I don't have a physical one.
Okay.
I don't have an ebook one. Like, yeah, it's kind of lame. Our library had book 1, but nobody has book 2 apparently. Oh yeah, sorry, I was talking about the Gulag. I wasn't talking about Dragonfly.
I got confused. No, I got confused, I think.
Okay. Yeah, no, sometimes my brain will jump off and I don't make a good transition, so. Okay. So, it's 43. Why don't we start at 45 and we'll go for, want to do a half an hour?
Sure.
Or
Works
more?
for me.
That works.
Half
Okay,
hour
cool.
works.
Also, to answer Alan's question in the chat, I'm reading Red Rising right now, which is also meant for me. So, but I will get to the City Watch books eventually.
I don't even see that.
Or it's not a question. He's just like, read the other Watch books.
Okay.
Meant for you.
It's more of a
Oh.
command.
There we go.
Crank
Yeah.
the Allen propaganda machine. Hey,
Hi,
it's Kate.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yes, Jennifer, it's true.
Yes, totally. Jennifer, like me, is a big Darrow fan.
Yes. Yeah, I like him so far. So far, so good.
Yay! That's good news.
Just in time.
All right.
Yes.
You missed all the
So-
torture talk, Kate.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Is this torture more brutal, or is Glocta in the First Law more brutal?
I don't know because
Read
I haven't read First Law.
Oh. Oh no! I haven't got to the torture scenes in here yet, so that question can't be answered by any of us then.
I think Glocta's are probably going to be more descriptive because sometimes he just talks about it in a very detached sense versus I think probably in First Law it's probably a little bit more like visual
Yeah.
in description.
Yep. There's definitely descriptions. Well, you're in the torturer's head rather than the tortured's head, so it's different on that level. Galacta talks about like the screaming and stuff, and it's like, oh,
Exactly.
nice.
Yeah, this
Oh, I hate them. I really don't like hearing about. I was just reading a different book that did that. It would describe like the different registers of screaming for people in pain. It was like, thanks, I'm good. I'm done now. That's gross.
What Russian literature was this?
This was Laris. It's like a modern book. I don't even know. Yeah. I think it's translated from the Russian. Anyway, it's about the Middle Ages in Russia, and there was a lot of pain.
All
It was
pain.
good. So why don't we get reading? No.
Yes.
Yeah. Check my email. Okay, I'll check my email. You're getting me excited. Did you send me a book? Oh my gosh. Okay.
It might be Dragonfly.
I
That's
think it's probably
literally,
Dragonfly.
I'm kind of thinking, oh, I'm excited. I'm gonna like run and go check the mail in case, I don't know. Sometimes they drop it off in different places at our house.
No.
Okay.
Christy, it says email.
Email. Right. Oh, did you? Oh, like.
Yeah,
okay.
you yeah, Alan can't send you a book within 10 like make a mail
Well, he was
carrier,
like,
drop it off
you
10
don't have a
seconds
physical
afterwards.
copy? Yeah, no, I was like, did you send me one? Like, why would I have one? Okay.
Alan has the powers of time travel, so he actually jumped back in time, ordered it from Amazon 2 days ago, and shipped it to you.
I don't know. He's got some power. That's all I know.
Propaganda power.
Yeah.
Very true. Okay, let's get reading, and I'm gonna check my email. Hey guys. Did I startle anyone?
Nope.
Good. Apparently, whenever I wake people up from their reading trance in Alexandria, I startle somebody.
Yeah, I'm usually fairly easy to startle, but not this time.
Especially when you're almost falling asleep.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh man, why are you so tired?
Oh, not today. Like on Wednesday nights, usually I'm like falling asleep.
Oh, yes, that makes sense. Okay, how did everybody do? Did you get some reading done?
I did. I got to page 38.
Nice. How about you?
I got a good 20-some pages in. I finished chapter 6,
Woo!
which ends with a talk about amnesty, and kind of in the background, it feels like he's talking a lot about hope, and which is interesting to hear from the perspective of the gulags of how people discount statements in order to preserve hopes, and among other things.
Mm-hmm. I love how he's been getting into the different people in the cell with him. That was kind of like the highlight of his time there, was talking with different people who had experienced different things in the country of Russia and in other places in Europe and stuff like that. It always, he like quoted Pushkin saying, life, the best life, is to suffer and to think, or something like that. And he's like, so that's what we did all day long. We suffered and we thought. And Alan sent me Dragonfly Falling. So thank you, Alan. So I read some of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Rich, Gardens of the Moon. Where are you in Gardens of the Moon? And yes, Billy Bonsai, I do agree. Like Pushkin kind of had it right, to a certain extent.
That sounds like your flavor, Billy. Yeah, Rich has been reading it for a while, and he says it's a little bit hard to get into because there's a whole bunch of different perspectives it's constantly shifting perspectives.
It drops you in the middle of the war with no context.
Ah. Okay.
Zero context. And you have to figure it out. It's beautiful, but it is a bit much to get into.
That sounds like the soldier's view of a war.
It's complicated. Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. I just ended up playing Shadow of Mordor till like 1 a.m. because I started playing again, and I was like, oh, this is such a good game.
So goth! Killing all those orcs.
We'll definitely get
at the beginning. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you all weren't here at the beginning, we decided to wear all black. This was Kari's idea, by the way. We decided to wear all black to kind of offset the super smiley thumbnail that I gave to this live stream, because I got several comments saying, like, it's kind of weird that you're smiling about the gulag. Like, that contrast is just weird. So Kari was like, why don't we wear all black? So here we are. And Pete just was adding to the mood by slaying orcs all night.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Yes.
Billy.
Jump in.
Jump in.
Come on.
Set
The link
the
is
mood.
there.
And Kari, yes, that's some heavy stuff, because that was at least discussed some in chapter 6 as well. Of the Cossack, like the story of the Cossacks, which was in a footnote of all places, was more heartbreaking than the torture scenes.
I haven't got that one yet.
It's literally a footnote in my edition. It's like, what? Do you guys have a lot of footnotes in your guys' editions? I'm not sure. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of them are, a lot of them are just citations. Like my footnotes are just, they're pretty short compared to some other footnotes in other books. Let me see if I can go forward and find a long footnote. There might be some, but yeah, it's mostly, oh yeah, here's a long footnote. It's like half the page almost.
Yeah, there's a few of them that I've seen.
Yeah, there's a few. Most are short though.
Yeah, it's interesting that he has like footnotes that are like blacked out people's names. It's like somebody's first name and then the blacked out surname or whatever, with like the first and the last letters, and that's it. Which is just so interesting because it kind of helps set the mood of, hi, he didn't experience all of this. He kind of just collected this from people as he talked to them throughout the gulags.
It's
Billy.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Oh
Yes,
yes.
How was your reading session?
Good.
It was good stuff.
Grim.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to catch up a little bit, but I'll be joining the next one. I think it's awkward with the time zones.
What time is it for you, Billy?
It's 8:20 in the evening, so I can't stay long because I need to go to the gym to have work tomorrow as well.
Feel that?
What time of day do you guys normally read? Because that's usually like prime reading time for me.
Usually, I try to read in the morning, although if I'm heading to work early, I just do it while I'm traveling. I have an audio, and then it just where I can, really. For me, I listen to audiobooks in the gym as well. It helps, just wherever I can. I don't usually get like I don't sit down and read for like long periods. I just read for like wherever I can, and it tends to work for me.
Yeah, I need audiobooks as well for just having it on whenever I get some free time.
I'm the weird person that I will take a physical book to the gym. I will. Yeah. Not exactly. Like when I'm like walking on a treadmill, I'll like have my book up and be reading it as I'm walking or doing the stair stepper or whatever.
That's a power move. I might do that.
It's all about the posture, man. It's great exercise.
Flexing your muscles and your brain at the same time.
Yeah, exactly, man.
That's amazing.
Michi's joined us.
Hi, Michi. So, shall we explain the black the third time?
Yeah. So Michi, we're all wearing black because I got a lot of comments. What?
Because of what Rich said. That's exactly why. It's true. It's obviously true.
Oh. Yes. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. We got some comments on the thumbnail that it was a little too happy, so we decided to go goth for the stream to be with appropriate gravity, you know.
Alan said I look like Aidan Gillen, and I was like, who's that? I swear I've heard that name. I get that comment all the time. I'm starting to accept it now. I used to deny it.
Just say he's your clone.
Peter Baelish.
That's what I do.
I'll take that. I'll take that advice.
Yeah, I have very average features. I am white, blonde, and I have all this blend of European features. So there's a lot of me around America because lots of immigrants. So I have met no less than 2 people that look exactly like me. So we're clones and we're going to take over the world one day. It's just, yes, this was before the beard. Like I was in an organization and me and this other guy joked about switching, like, because we had like name tags in this organization. So we thought about switching uniforms and such. and see if people could tell. Because at that
Shave
point
it.
in time, we were the same height.
Shave it at 10,000 subscribers a day.
I mean, it'll just grow back. That's how it works.
Do it then. No excuse.
Gosh, 10K. Get me to 10K and I'll shave it. That's brilliant. The elusive organization. Yes. No, it was Civil Air Patrol, which is an auxiliary of the Air Force. It's complicated. Not really.
NPR will hire me.
I wish I was pulling the strings behind BookTube. It's not true though, Alan. I just turn up.
I have a feeling that when Greg really digs into these books, he's gonna have a lot to say, and Billy as well for sure. So I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say. And Pete and I we're
Gonna
rolling
have
along.
nothing to say. It's great. It's great.
Where are you guys up to? This is my old bookmark, so I'm going to be starting pretty much again because it's been a long time. I'm behind you guys because I want to start fresh. So I'm probably going to do a catch up and mix. I'm going to get the audio book as well so I can catch up. So listen to it in the gym. I previously got to chapter 2, part 3. I think mine's got 5. Every version seems different. I think mine's got 5 or 6 parts in it.
So you have parts 1 and 2 then, or volumes 1 and 2.
I believe so. I think that's all I've got. Is that enough?
Yeah. So I think the first live stream we're gonna do is just gonna be part 1, or volume 1, which is parts 1 and 2.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Because my book only is just volume 1, even though it doesn't say that.
When is that scheduled?
We're thinking about it.
Okay.
Probably October, early October maybe.
I'll push myself a little harder and catch up.
Early mid-October.
It's pretty immersive. Once you kind of get the gist of what he's saying during a chapter, you can kind of sink into it and roll with it on audio. Although it can be really confusing if you just listen to it on audio all the time because he does like hop around and sometimes the transition is like, whoa, I missed that.
Oh wait, we're talking about what this one guy is saying about what happened 20 years ago now? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the time hops are kind of a lot sometimes.
Yeah.
But in chapter 2, like chapter 1 was all over the place, and chapter 2 seems to be more like focused on like 1918 to 1920. So that's good.
My surprise with this book was I thought it was going to be like kind of boring when I first picked it up. I was like, I'm probably not going to enjoy this, but I'll give it a go because I want to learn something. But it's surprisingly readable. Like you get straight into it and you learn like quite a lot straight away. From just even in the first volume, there's like quite a lot packed in there. And I find it interesting that he was sort of in the mindset of like, how did I get here? Like, sort of thinking about it in terms of like, it's sort of his fault in a way. I mean, that's the reason he wrote it from the research of them. He was just kind of like, how did this happen? I'll write this. And he sort of wanted to confess to everything that was going on.
Yeah, it was interesting because he talks about when he's young, he has all these like anti-government feelings, and that's how he got caught by writing a letter to a friend about how he thinks the leadership is not. He doesn't say exactly what he said, but he was criticizing the leadership, and but he ends up reflecting back on his behavior during the war before he was even arrested and being like, I was doing some really terrible things. Like I was being I was treating a German prisoner really badly, even though I was a prisoner too, and nobody even questioned it. They made him carry my bags and stuff like that. I viewed him as like subhuman, just because he was a different race than I was. So yeah, it's really interesting how he reflects on kind of the degradation of values in his society that's kind of perpetuated by the teachings of the government. Even somebody who is consciously resisting it, like him, couldn't help but absorb some of that. And he recognized that there was a big loss from earlier generations who treated human beings more like they're all part of the same human race. And just having better virtues and having more reason behind their lives, I guess. He says they've lost that in the current generation, and it's going to be even worse in the future generations.
Yeah, I definitely find it interesting, the fact that he's even though he's in that terrible situation and he could just like give in and not do anything about it, he's still taking some aspect of like responsibility and reflecting on his actions in that way.
One of the things that he illustrates as well is he's mentioned it briefly, is that you talked a little bit about this, just this Christy, this us versus them mentality. And I think that that whole mentality has been used many, many, many times throughout history to justify really, really bad stuff. And this is kind of just another in this long history of justifications that has happened.
It's crazy because I read a lot of dark fiction and dark fantasy and stuff, but like the worst things I read and the darkest things I read are always from history. And if I'm getting creative and I want to write something and I'm like, oh, I need something really gross to happen, I just look at history books and they're like, oh, that's where you get your ideas from. It's crazy.
That's part of the reason why I'm actually reading this, is I want to write a fantasy book that takes place in a Cold War setting. So I'm essentially taking notes for that. Yeah,
it's definitely one of the right books to do it. You mentioned earlier, before you started reading, I think, about the sort of list of torture techniques and all this sort of stuff they would use. And when I was reading that for the first time, I was actually just thinking, like, they were genuinely creative in a sick way. It's like, I wouldn't have even thought of it like at all. It's crazy.
Yeah, they like spent a lot of time considering ways to torture people in the worst ways possible so that they could blame stuff on them.
Yeah, I haven't got to the torture scenes yet, but yeah, a lot of there's a lot of creativity in terms of torture everywhere. And then like I know this is like the time in history where they made torture more psychological, or it started going in that direction. So I don't know if that we'll see that or not.
It's not related to this, but it's another history from, I think, World War II. A book I just read recently that has a similar vibe to it, where there was this place in China, Nanking, that the Japanese soldiers sort of infiltrated, and the stuff they did there, it's described in the book, it's another one of those you sort of feel sick reading it. You're like, I can't believe people can do this. I would recommend that book if you're into your heavy stuff as well and you're wanting to learn those types of things.
That's what Poppy War's based off, right?
Oh, is it Nanking? I've not read Poppy War, so
I can't remember. It's like one of those things.
I'll check that out. I think Poppy War has been on my list for a while.
Can you guys read this? I don't even know if you can.
I can, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. This was one of the quotes where he talks about. Oh, this isn't one. I shared a couple quotes. This one's about ideology, and I love this quote because I think ideology is it just sows so much division, more so than critical thinking and discussion. And there's another one that's about how evil is in all of us. And here's this is all in the Literary Discourse Discord and Gregory LaPerch's Discord. But Kari mentioned earlier that there's a section about food writing in prison where he gets like really annoyed because all these authors share delicious food writing, of people who are like starving, or he didn't feel like eating, but he ate some sausage and beer, and he's like, oh, stop that. Dostoevsky is the best writer to read because the Dostoevsky characters are always suffering and stuff like that.
Yeah, Dostoevsky is cheerful.
Yeah. So this is the one. So let the reader who expects this book to be a political expose slam its covers shut right now. If only it were all so simple. If only there were evil people somewhere insidiously committing evil deeds, and it were necessary only to separate them from the rest of us and destroy them. But the line dividing good and evil cuts through the heart of every human being. And who is willing to destroy a piece of his own heart? So good.
I think it's true though as well, like that obviously good and evil is inherent in everyone. And when you're looking at historical areas like this, it's easy for us to pin it as evil because we don't want to see ourselves in it. I think that's why people separate it as evil. It's something that they can't do. And at the same time, like a lot of people that were put in these prisons and the guards and stuff, a lot of them are just doing it like they start off as ordinary people and they slowly, get to a position where they're doing that over time. It's not as if they was born inherently evil.
Yeah, totally. Exactly.
Yeah, and
Bye, Michi.
I think their culture, prior to the Soviet Revolution, it kind of like was actually a pretty good setup in like a very bad way to set up like the society because the peasants in Tsarist Russia were always dehumanized, and I read the part about Lenin when he got in, he pretty much immediately wrote a law to be able to take all the grain from the farmers, but the farmers never had the right to the grain anyway in Tsarist Russia, and people were always starving there. Mm-hmm. And they were actually like an exporter of grain, even though their people were starving. And just like a lot of stuff like that referenced kind of like laid the groundwork for just justification towards the people of the atrocities in Soviet Russia, because a lot of the atrocities happened prior, and the prisons as well. He said they didn't have to build new prisons because there already were prisons from Tsarist Russia, and like massive prisons.
It's actually amazing how many they had. I think that's one thing that surprised me. So I don't know too much about Russian history. I think this is like my first introduction into it, I would say.
Dostoevsky brought me there. I was I think no.
Dostoevsky certainly got me more interested, because I only first read Dostoevsky about 3 years ago, 4 maybe, when I read Crime and Punishment, which blew my mind. I find it to be quite a tough book to get through because I feel like it's very slow in parts. It drags a little, but it's worth getting through, I think. But I need to reread it, I think, to get some more of the nuances, because I can't remember a lot of the like other characters. I remember obviously what Raskolnikov goes through, but the other characters I can't remember. I think I need to reread that book.
I'm reading it next month. If you want to come read it with us, Michi will be on the live stream with me. You can come too if you want.
I might just have to do that then. The planets have aligned.
Yes. Sweet.
Yeah, I've not read Dostoevsky yet, unfortunately.
You should.
amazing.
Although I think politically he's probably pretty different from you. Some of the nuance gets lost for me between his system and ours that he's talking about, but I would be curious to see what you thought of him.
I think just for like, I don't know what you read for specifically, Greg, but like thematically, his books are just amazing. There's a lot to do with human psychology in there. I think he nails that stuff down. Like, I think the way I describe it in my head is like he understands like the emotions behind emotions. So a character can do something, have an emotional response, but they'll have like further fallout from that, and it just surprises you how much these characters go through. But it makes sense as well.
Yeah, I was a psychology major, so I'm usually into that stuff. And yeah, I know he's like more reactionary than I am politically and stuff. But yeah, I'll have to read him at some point.
I would say Notes from Underground's like a decent place to start, just because it's so short as well. But I think it packs a punch. I really enjoyed Notes from Underground. That's an amazing book.
Yeah. I remember when you read that and reviewed it. It was so exciting. I was like, another fan!
I don't know which one to try next though, because I've got the is it the double, which is another short one. I've got The Idiot, and I want to get Demon. Is it Demons? That one interests me, but I don't own that one yet. But I don't know which one to read next. Like, where's the best one to go to?
Well, the brothers Karamazov, I'm mispronouncing it, is like, for some people, if they found that Crime and Punishment was like harder to get through, I think they enjoyed the brothers Karamazov, and vice versa. Like, I found Crime and Punishment just so gripping all the way through, and then I struggled with the brothers Karamazov. I think because there's so many perspectives, and it's very complex and very, very good. And like, it's like Una from the Codex Cantina's favorite book. And so that one you might really enjoy. It seems like something that you might read for.
I might probably. I do like when books switch perspectives and keep things fresh and that sort of stuff. Maybe it's my attention span. I don't know. But
Wait, what was the name of the short one, Billy?
Notes from Underground. I do highly recommend it. It's a quick read as well. I think it's only like 200 pages. It's more of a novella, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the technical terms to use.
That book is, Notes from the Underground is really intense because like the first section is just like straight philosophical argument. And if you don't really know what's going on intellectually at the time, it's a little bit like, okay, I had to do some research there. But the second half is like the philosophy kind of lived out, and you see how it affected his life, and it's really interesting. It's a very, very good and very short introduction.
Yeah. I think there's something in Notes from Underground as well that sort of predicts the Russian Revolution, like the Soviet uprising and all that, where he's talking about utopianism and how it won't be any good for anyone. There's like a few pages on it. It's very interesting, especially reading. I don't know much about it specifically, but me reading that after reading some of this Gulag Archipelago, you're like, oh god, like it's like he knew where it would lead to. He's a very smart person.
I'm reading his notes. Shoot, what's it called? Notes from a Dead House right now, and it's basically like his experience in a Siberian prison, Siberian work camp, quite a while before the Gulag Archipelago takes place. And it's amazing to see how it doesn't seem super different to me, honestly. So, but it develops from there into what we see in the Gulag Archipelago. So it's an interesting precursor. And that one's very actually gripping. for me. This actually is one of the easiest for me so far that I've read is Notes from a Dead House. And it's pretty short too. So I don't know.
I completely forgot he did like non-fiction stuff.
It's technically fiction. He tells it with a frame narrator who's discovering the notes of somebody who lived in a Siberian work camp. But basically, it's a bunch of sketches that he observed while he was in prison.
Yeah.
So that might be one of his. I think that's one of his first works that he published after returning home from exile to Russia. So. Garrett's read a lot of these too. Thank you, Garrett. Some of these have different names. Notes from a Dead House is also called something else. I don't remember. But anyways, should we read again? Do you guys want to read again?
Yes.
Works for me.
All right, let's do it. Let's go.
I will have to hop out because I need to go to the gym now.
Okay, but you'll be listening, right? To your audiobook?
In the gym, I will, yeah.
Yes.
And then it's bedtime, so.
Okay.
Thanks for letting me jump in for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for
appreciate it.
coming. See you later.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Should we go longer this time? Should we do 45 minutes instead of 30 and then we can chat and go and then be done?
I'm fine with that.
Works for me.
All right, let's do it.
Hi.
No. How did you guys do?
Good. I did all right. I'm still in chapter 2. Chapter 2 is a long chapter, apparently.
Yes. All of the chapters are pretty long.
Oh my gosh, I'm not even close. Not even close.
Chapter 2 is pretty long. Chapter, what, 6? Yeah, because I just finished chapter 7 actually. Chapter 6 and 7 weren't too long.
Nice. I think I'm in I'm in chapter 6 because I'm reading that section that Kari was talking about with talking about how the prisoners of war and anybody who was captured and then like returned to the motherland was treated badly, given like 15 years in prison. And I just got to the part where it's talking about how people who just didn't fight or they just deserted, their punishments were less or they were treated as heroes. It's like, ugh, so brutal.
And even that's inconsistent, depending on like when, like this was. So like I'm actually there's a part he's talking about like a sentencing during like right after the Bolshevik revolution, or during or after, and this man was almost given capital punishment for not fighting.
Yeah. Well, there's just no safe way to be in the motherland.
Yes. And Rich, in response to you have no idea what long chapters are. I'm about to start book 9, so I have I've gotten through this far. I have exactly a great idea of what long chapters are.
I'm told there's a chapter that is a 9-hour audiobook in book 14 of Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
That's like a novella.
Yes.
Chapter.
Indeed.
Rich read Wheel of Time. He knows all about long chapters.
It'll be interesting to see like what comparing Wheel of Time and Malazan, like who has the longer chapters. That'd be interesting to see a comparison of that.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Fantasy wins for getting lots and lots of people to read super long chapters. Like, that just doesn't really happen a lot of times in today's genres. Faye, what did you read? I'm so curious. Faye is a fan of all things languages. She studied Russian.
Oh,
And
nice. I tried at one point.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. It's crazy. Ooh, nice. Jurassic Park is so good. Really?
I'm pretty sure that Malazan has chapters that are longer than a singular Terry Pratchett book.
Yeah, there are no chapters in Discworld, I believe.
Oh, that's right. There are no chapters.
So the whole book is the chapter.
Pretty
like
much.
Dune.
Yeah, I was struggling. I was reading Dune Messiah, and yeah, that's kind of crazy rich. But the first Harry Potter book is like basically a novella. So it's super quick. I was reading Dune Messiah, and I was trying to like tell people where I was at when I was getting these mind-blowing things, and it was like, oh, the chapter, because it like breaks, and then there's an epigraph, and then it continues, but there's no labels. So I'm like, the chapter started with the epigraph of the nature of blah, blah, blah. So it was super confusing, but it was still like, how do I tell people where I'm at?
I know, it's hard. Because then, yeah, you can't, it's hard to describe.
Yeah, the City of Stairs was like that too. It's like that there would be actually they're like kind of as chapters, but they aren't like labeled as chapters. There's like different types of breaks. It was like very weird. There's sometimes the stars, sometimes like I don't know. It's hard to explain. Sometimes there's like kind of epigraph type things, and yeah, it's all over the place.
Yay for creative writing.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of the Mirror of the Sea. Like, whoa, that's the one who wrote Heart of Darkness, I think, right? Because I have Lord Jim by him, and I've been wanting to read it. There was like some sci-fi book that I read from, I don't know. So it was like an old sci-fi book, and they referenced Lord Jim, and I've been wanting to read it ever since. It's just been on my TBR shelf, like since I started BookTube. Nobody's reading it, so there's never like a movement to force me to pick it up.
Yep. Yeah, that can make books stay on your TBR for like a very long time.
Yeah, it's sad. That's why I started doing Dostoevsky readalongs, because I started my channel hoping to explore Dostoevsky more, and then I kept like joining readalongs, and nobody was reading Dostoevsky.
Make your own read along. That's exactly the solution.
Precisely.
Exactly.
Persuade other people. Yeah, I wanted to read. There was one. It was actually a villain, I think, that kept referencing. Oh, what book is it? It's a philosophy book. One second. There's a philosophy book that I have somewhere that's covered by something right now. Not my.
Jurassic Park is 3 stars for Eartha? Wow. I'm only at the halfway point, and it's like really good, so I'm really curious. Go ahead, Pete.
It was Marcus Aurelius's Meditations.
Oh, yeah. I want to read that too. But will we ever? It remains to be seen.
Yes, eventually. I am determined.
I'm
just
glad
have to get
that
through the archipelago first.
Right? I'm so glad that you got us to read this, because I needed a push for sure. Thank you for organizing me through it.
I needed to push too, and then you were like, I'd read that. I'm like, yay.
Next up, Marcus Aurelius.
I gotta get through Infinite Jest as the next big chunker after this.
Oh, good luck. If Noah's still here, he's doing a read-along of that.
I think I got through like 200 pages of it the first time I tried to read it. That book is a trip and a half.
Yeah.
There was an entire chapter. There was one long run-on sentence told by a drug addict. It was hilarious.
Oh, no.
Yikes. Let's see.
Are you guys like kind of surprised by how many sort of it seems like every group that Stalin is imprisoning is like some sort of socialist group. Like there's one here, anarchists, socialist revolutionaries, Mescovits, and then like intelligentsia, which is not the only not socialist one there. Or I mean, it can be.
Yeah.
But
The people who were super loyal to the party, like the ones who had grown up with it and joined the ranks because of it, those were all the ones that were getting, not all of them, but a lot of the ones that were arrested were like loyal party members. One of the prison mates that you'll read about in a future chapter, he said his soul was like a twin of the October Revolution and stuff like that. So yeah, that happened. Pretty much, there was no safe way to live in Russia. You just, no matter what your beliefs, you got arrested. Random people.
Yeah.
Stalin was also cultivating a cult of personality. Like he was consolidating power, much like I would say that our good friend in China, President Xi, is doing and has been doing for many years.
Yeah.
In his own way. So
Yep. Yeah, we see that. Yeah, like all authoritarians are doing that. Like Brazil's trying to do that. Yeah, a lot of countries. But yeah, these were like, I guess it's like these aren't people in the party. Like the Metscovids were like, they separated from the Bolshevik. I can't do these Russian words. Bolsheviks party.
Bolsheviks.
Yeah, like prior to the revolution, I believe. And then the anarchists were never part of the you know, like Stalin or Lenin or anything. They were just anti-Tsar.
Yeah. And I think it's in chapter 6 that kind of talks about this, is people aren't imprisoned for guilt or for innocence. They're imprisoned for social danger.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it's
That's
not
why
even about...
the POWs were arrested, because there was too many potential places that they had to betray the country or become spies. The spy mania thing. I posted a quote on that earlier.
I would rather imprison 99 innocent people and one spy than miss one spy. Yeah.
Right. It's so interesting that he ended up thinking that way, because you end up, for the social good, you're imprisoning all these people, but then like your society is just like all jacked up, basically. At some point, you got to recognize there's a problem with that philosophy.
But at the same time, like, he started hinting at it, like that there's also another secondary reason to all these arrests and why they have the quotas and etc. Because people are handing out these sentences to fuel labor camps, to build more of Russia.
Yes.
Like he talks about like these sentences being, oh, they handed out a bunch of tenors to fuel 2 5-year plans.
Mm-hmm. And while everybody's waiting to go through the process, they're just mining all the coal and, getting everything done. Terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah,
Thanks, Kari. We should probably get going too. Pretty quick here.
Yeah.
What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, that goes back to like the prison industrial complex, or the whole first part is called the what is it? The prison industry. That's what it is. And like that can definitely happen when you're expanding prison populations. Because what do you do with the prisoners? Well, you can make them work. Yes, free work. And that's actually what we do here, and a lot of times you get like a very, very low wage. Like minimum wage laws don't apply to prisoners here, so they can, like the people who fight fires in California get like under $1 an hour usually. Wow. If they're a prisoner.
Dang.
Wow.
That's wild.
That is
wild. What do you think about the morality of making prisoners work?
I don't know. I mean, they shouldn't have to work in like those conditions, or like the conditions in here, or like, I don't know. They should be compensated in some way. If you're making them work.
Don't they, at least in California, they only get like half their time. Like they get half their time chopped off and stuff like that. So they definitely get benefits if they get like work credits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's intense. On that note, we should probably get going. But you should join. If you're not in Gregory's Discord, or so, you should join, because Charmaine was just talking about this too, the prison industrial complex and stuff. I'm sure you're already there. But anyways, this has been really fun, and like Rich said, less depressing than expected.
It's because we were wearing black. We got
Then we had to compensate for that.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming up here, guys, and huge thanks to Pete for organizing this read along. I'm so happy that it's happening.
I am too. This
Yes.
is really, really fun to read, honestly. Hi, Abby. Great timing.
Yeah. Now that Abby's here, let's leave.
Yep, we're just about to bounce.
Yeah, I was just reading a part about the British doublespeak during the war.
Alrighty, guys, this has been awesome. Thanks for coming. Thanks for chatting with us. Thanks for reading with us. And we'll talk to you soon. Make sure to head over to Pete's
Bye,
channel for our live streams on all 3 parts of the unabridged Gulag Archipelago.